Let's do this. So I want to begin by going into a few different somatic experiences, so to speak. Ones that may be a helpful, direct doorway to the experience of feeling safe, the experience of feeling secure, feeling protected even, or important. These may be helpful. Some of them may not be. So we'll just try a few of them and see how they land, kind of a scientific experiment, if you will. Curious explorers, right? So we kind of like test it out, feel it out, notice what happens in the body when we do this, and just that, and then go from there. There might be some noticeable and notable sensations, images, meaning can arise out of these that may hold some, I don't know the word value I was going to say, but I would like to begin just by tuning into this space here, this moment here. Is a perfect way to begin making contact with the experience of being safe, because often our immediate environment is safe. Saying that, though, we may not feel inside, we may not live as though it's safe. All signs may point to this is safe, and yet we may be feeling or sensing quite the opposite. We may be hypervigilant, hypersensitive, hyper-aware of any perceived stress or threat, or even when there's none. So this can be an effective way to come back down out of that, to show the body and mind that, hey, no, I in fact am safe. And maybe the body, the nervous and energetic system responds by regulating into a state that would reflect that safety. Meaning if we're hypervigilant, hypersensitive, or even hypo, like shut down, shut off, frozen out, checked out, it would be lifted up out of that. It's part of healthy nervous system regulation, is coming up and down, in and out, up out of hypo, shut down type states, and back down from activated, hyperactivated. Assuming the environment is safe, then the nervous energetic system ideally would kind of hover in and out of a sort of rest digest type state. It's not total rest digest, but it's not total activated alertness. It's just like, and yogically speaking, that's the intention of yogas like Hatha yoga, which aims to ultimately balance these poles of energy, these major flows of energy through the postures and the breath work and the pranayam and the mudra and etc. The purpose of it is to bring a balance or a harmony to these energetic flows that we are. And in doing so, if you practice a Hatha yoga sequence to completion, a more complete practice, not just postures thrown about, You'll notice at the end that you feel quite grounded, settled in body, but also like alert, active, like connected to the environment around. It's like a balance between a parasympathetic and a sympathetic nervous system. They're like hover, it's like they're both active simultaneously, but just active enough. And that state is where our energies just flow optimally, powerfully, more completely. So with that said, let's just orient to this safe space right here. I'm assuming you're currently in a safe space, otherwise why are you showing up online to do yoga with me? Seek help, run, or fight. So begin in your seat. We're going to come into direct contact with the felt sense experience of just existing right here. That means that, yes, first and probably most easily accessible is just the experience of the body, the feeling of the body. No rush. Just noticing first maybe what it feels like for the body to make contact with the ground. So feel solidness beneath you. Feel solidness beneath the feet, if the feet are flat on the ground as mine are. Feel solidness beneath the hips, the pelvis, the legs. But take your time, because I'm being very literal. The invitation is to come into direct contact with the sensations of solidness. Don't just think about solidness. Don't just try to analyze what that means, solid, and that might be part of it, because you're not going to stop your thoughts from thinking. Don't try that, but come more into the direct experience of feeling sensations of solidness or earthiness beneath the body, supporting the body. And in fact, part of that is that your body is also very earthy. It's solid. So you may notice the experience of the solid body, the solidness of the body. Although with that said, at times the body feels luminous, light, spacious. That probably comes more as the energy opens more freely, the luminousness. So for now, maybe it's easier to come into contact with the solid feeling of the body existing right here, right on that seat, right on that chair. Notice whatever sensations might be present in the body. Anything. We talked about being hypervigilant, hypersensitive, anxious, agitated, or shut down, numb, calm or peaceful or at ease, pleasant. Just notice whatever sensations show up in the body right now. Don't attempt to change them. Don't attempt to you don't even need to analyze this sensation means this or that. Nope. Oh, interesting. There's a sensation there. There's a tightness in my chest, or there's an openness in my throat that's noticeable, or whatever. Doesn't matter what it is, but just Curiously noticing, that's all. Curiously noticing. Notice the breath, how the breath exists or not. It might not exist right now. It might feel stalled or stuck, blocked. Don't try to change it. I don't want you to think, oh, that means my breath is supposed to be smooth and deep and easy, so I should employ such and such technique to get there. Nope, that's not the way. The nervous energetic system regulates and gets some energy moving naturally. Naturally, the breath will open up. But just notice what it is now. You don't have to change it. Just notice whatever sensations are there and how the breath shows up. Now, from there, from this home base, let's say, from this center, I want for you to begin to become more aware of this safe space around you. This safe space, assuming it's safe again, which I have to assume because you're here. That means you may notice the sounds that exist around you. I hear right now some birds chirping, singing. I hear the electrical hum of my nervous system, if that's a thing. Just be aware of whatever sounds exist inside or outside of this immediate space. Notice any smells that exist. Tastes, the touch of the air on your skin or the clothing on your skin. And as you become more oriented to this environment, to this moment here in this space, notice how the body responds to that. Which another way of saying is notice how the nervous system responds as you slow down and make contact with this safe space. Feel the body there. Just feel it. Don't do anything to change it. Just be in contact with your own felt sense of here-ness, aliveness, or numbness, the opposite. Be aware of or feel anchored to the ground, rootedness, solidness, groundedness. Your body breathing or not. And notice whatever there is to notice in the space of this room. Sounds, sights if the eyes are open. In fact, if they're not open, when it feels right, then open your eyes to orient to the visual field, to the different objects. You might choose to slowly look around at different objects, like plant, like that object that was a gift from that person you love that brings fond feelings, or like that tree outside that you enjoy looking at. The point is just noticing what exists around you. If it's safe, then notice how the body or how the nervous system responds to you orienting to this very safe moment in space. Things to look for: settling, feeling of settling, softening. The breath easing or deepening or releasing. Warmth returning, tingliness, or a yawn, or all little signs of nervous system regulation, nervous energetic system regulation. And so I'm curious. I'm always curious, and you don't have to share anything. And if you would like to, just you can even just type, you can share what you notice. No expectation. But just before we move into our next experience, it's just if there's any sharing or question even, then just take a moment. Eileen, thank you. Eileen experienced a sense of tension leaving her head, less of a headache than when you arrived. So a softening of tension, a releasing or relaxing of tension. That's notable, that's useful. So feeling safe feels less tense. Could even summarize. Alyssa, you definitely feel more present after rushing around to get to class. Yeah, that's helpful because we often are rushing here and there and here and there. Imagine we rushed to the next moment, the next destination, the next activity, and just took a few moments to make contact with ourselves, make contact with the environment and the others in the environment, and just kind of oriented to that, allowing our nervous and energetic system some time and space to regulate to what is, to come into contact with and then adjust to what is. Meaning this is a safe space. Now my bodily system can adjust to reflect that, which is freer from tension, freer from agitation, of energy from rushing or